This episode is brought to you by Anivia Pickleball, your premier destination for high-quality pickleball paddles designed to elevate your game. At Anivia, they are committed to providing players across Canada with innovative, performance-driven pickleball paddles crafted for durability, precision, and ease of play. Irene and myself are currently using their Gen 3 Pro paddle, and if you head over to Anivia.com and enter the code AGorman15, you get 15% off your order. That's AGorman15 at Anivia.com. All right, on with the show. All right, welcome back to the Pickleball Diaries, everyone. Once again, I'm Andrew. We got Vic here with us. How's it going, Vic?
Hi, everyone. We're back from our minor league experience.
Yeah, and it was fun. And before we get to ours, we do have to talk about the one in Burnaby at the Ipop. That one completely sold out. So huge props to all the people running at Ipop there. And from what I heard talking to Yui and talking to a few other people who attended, it was a major success. So we'll do a quick shout out to the team. So in Duper 14, you had Duper 12, because they also had a Duper 12 category. You had Slice and Dice win the Duper 12. You had Too Fast, Too Furious win the Duper 14. Tag 'em and Bag 'em won the Duper 16. Grip and Rips won the Duper 18, and then Love Crunch won the Duper 20. And the Love Crunch is actually part of some of those players were from the team that actually won the Duper 20 at the showdown in Vernon as well. So shout out to those returning players and the new players they had on their team as well.
Okay, nice.
And then of course we had just last weekend or the week? Where are we
last
at now?
Weekend.
Last weekend. It's been a busy week. I've been all over the place. So yeah, last weekend, of course, we were playing in the In a Pickle at the YAG. So big shout out to Sean and the In a Pickle crew, and of course the crew at YAG for putting on such a good event. They got some really good sponsors like Chick-fil-A come and provide us some food, which was awesome. So we'll start off with Duper 14. The Right Angles won that one. Duper 16. Amy for Leon's Nipple, which is an awesome team name, first of all.
Yeah.
Duper
they're coming
18,
from
we are
coming
give
from
this team
Winnipeg.
a little bit of crap because we're going to call them sandbaggers, but Top Guns won that because we know all the players on that team. And I think they should have been playing in Duper 20, but congrats to them anyways for winning.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
And then of course our category, the Duper 20, TNT won, and that was of course the team with Jake and Ava and Shay and Bradley, which was the top team going in, and we were expecting them to at least be in the finals, if not win it. As for us, we fell just short of making it to the playoffs. I was happy kind of overall with most of our performance throughout the tournament, but we let the one game that cost us was where we lost in the Dream Breaker I can't remember the team's name now, but that was the team that ended up getting second in our pool and going to the playoffs.
I think it's the HK team. So
HK. So honestly, like me and Vic played really good in the men's. We blew out the men's team. I think it was like 21-12 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. About that, 21-12 or 21-13.
Irene and Annie had trouble putting a consistent performance together throughout the tournament. They lost the women, so then we were 1-1. Then me and Irene probably should have won our mix, but we lost ours 21-17. Then Vic and Annie came through and winning their mix, forcing the Dream Breaker. And then we were up, what was it, 19-16 or something like that, Vic?
Yeah, 1916 or 1917. And I think we got a little stuck there. I couldn't finish it all. I had I had almost like the serve in my hand. I just couldn't finish it off. I have one big unforced error. I have a ball I should have put away. I didn't put away, and then one of my serve went out also. None. So I went 1 in 3 on that rotation. While on the previous rotation I went 3-1 and 4-0. So we're up, and that was, I think that was the key too. I should have finished them off, but I just couldn't close it out, and and left it to Irene to try to close it out, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then Irene, she got to 20 and then got stuck with the freeze, and then they managed to tie it up and then pulled away there with the finish.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so like that final game, that game there was a little disappointing. Like obviously because we're all competitors and we don't like to lose,
Yeah.
so so a little bit frustrating with that. But because I know it took me like I went upstairs and like sat there and cooled down, made sure like I usually if once I'm knocked out, well, and it was funny because we had one more game, but we knew that was going to be a tough game. That was against the team who was probably going to come first in our pool
Mm-hmm.
just because they had an injury go down, and then the person that came in was an insanely strong player, which
Yep.
of course changes the whole dynamic of that team,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then because we went 1-3 against them, um, but we knew that if we would have gone into that last game with 2 wins, we pretty much at bare minimum had second place locked up, and we were going to go to the crossover. So like I know I went upstairs and I took like my 5 minutes to cool down because I was mad at myself for not winning the mixed because Irene was missing a couple of shots and then they started picking on her, and I felt like I didn't insert myself enough to come in and counteract that. And like I said, we only lost 21-17. So and it was back and forth for a majority of it, but there was a couple, and the problem is with rally scoring, couple little mistakes is all it takes for
Yep.
to lose a match here. Whereas like I know, for example, our men's team and our women's team and then our two mix, if this would have been regular scoring, I don't know if we would have lost a single game
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
because I
could
think
could
because we're all four of us are very very good at grinding out games.
yes.
So, but that's the rub with rally scoring. Like all it takes is one team getting hot and one team missing a couple little shots, and then you get bumped out.
Yeah.
However, on the bright side of things, we did win best dressed team and
Yep.
best enthusiastic team. So if you look behind me here, I got the we got
I'm sure.
the minor league pickleball bags that we won. So I got a black one here, and I don't know if it's gonna get cut off on the camera, but I also have a white one here behind me that Irene got. Vic and Anya got theirs too. So big
Yeah.
thank you to Sean and the other members of the Egg who, because there was hidden voters. I don't know who it was, but thanks for voting for us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
And
you
it
so
and it
much.
was still fun. It was an awesome experience to play. And then we're gonna me and Irene are gonna be going down to the Calgary one at Mega Court on May 24th. Now Vic is gonna be way too busy refing because everyone's looking to him now to run the show for a lot of these things. So
Yeah.
and then Anya's going to be
Unfortunately.
away, so me and Irene are grabbing two new partners for that. But we're super excited for that one too.
Mm-hmm, definitely. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the other duper teams also because well, I have ref them, right? So
Exactly.
I only play on duper 20, but the rest of them I pretty much have ref. I didn't ref duper 18 because I wanted to get myself ready. So how it works out is it was a 2-day event. The duper 16 and 18 were playing, and the next day the Duper 14 and 20 are playing. So on the Duper 14, if I'm not mistaken, I did the 16. So the 16 aim for Leon Nepo's team is actually coming all the way from Winnipeg. So they actually drive. I don't think they drive actually. They actually flew it over. So that's a big commitment from them. But definitely they were the stronger team from their pool. Like you can tell by how they're playing against the other team. There's like basically no contests. It was like pretty evident they're gonna win. Duper 18, the Top Guns. Obviously, I gonna ran on my sandbaggers the stuff over here because it was Gloria, Sean, Guy White and Lauren that they're playing. Um, yes, I call it sandbagger, but at the same time, there's only 4 teams in there. So in theory, if they don't sign up, there's only 3 teams. So that's kind of the excuse I'll give them for joining as a four team. And obviously they are the stronger team. However, the YEG team so with the owner at Deacon, they actually beat them in round robin, but only lost them to a medal round. So at least they did put a good fight. On Duper 14, which is the next day, the right angle that was a very interesting bracket. Like if you look at this bracket, there's basically half of them are almost just 20 plus, and half of them are 40 to 50 plus people. So it was kind of a very interesting team dynamic over there. Okay, now for you to guess who won. Is it the 50 plus people or the 20 plus people who won? I just have you take a guess.
That's a good question. Yeah, because I didn't pay attention when I was there because I was focused on my matches. I'm going to say the 50 plus from just due to more experience.
Yes, exactly. Well, they're not really 50 plus. So I'll say probably closer to 40 plus. Their 40 plus player team actually won. And there's a reason too. The 20 plus people came in like blasting. They're blasting people out of the gate. But on the third, because there's a round robin, right? On the third rotation on the round robin, for some reason they're all out of gas. I just when I was refing, they're just all of them are out of gas, and then just those 40 and 50 plus team are just grinding out of them afterwards, and that I think that makes a big difference in that category, and especially you have to play that well, it was a pool of 4, so basically you play at least four games, right? 4 game per match, so means you're playing 12. So if you're not reserving some energy for here and there, obviously you're now getting tired, and then your performance definitely dip. Then we can get into our duper 20, right? So I'll do duper 20 already. We know that the TNTs have won with the comprise of Jake, Bradley, Ava, and Shay. With congrats to them. That that bracket is also without some controversy at some sort. I say that controversy though. Okay, so there's 2 teams. Unfortunately, they have members that have to pull out due to injuries. One team did benefit better than the other team due to the person they able to sub in. Obviously, we knew Trevor's team with Diane and Femke was supposed to play with John Hug. Now John Hug is hurt, so therefore they replaced with Michael Dingwall, which is a 5.5 duper level player, and obviously he was injured for the last 3 plus month, but still he is a very strong player, and that changed the whole that dynamic of our pool in perspective. On the other side of the pool, there is the Calgary team. So the Mega Court team coaching team did put in a team. There is the Red Deer team that was there. John Hannon, Nolan, Cassie. Sorry, I don't remember the other ladies
and
team.
Chrissy Ryan.
Yep, Chrissy Ryan. And then there's one more team, which is technically the Top Guns, but except Guy White, he was subbed in by Logan that was on their team. So couple little controversy, and we're still figuring out, a referee standpoint is. On one of the team, I'm not going to name the team on here, but one of the team, their paddle definitely was delaminated. But the current problem is there is not much we can do about it. Even though into USAP rulebook, you should not play with a delaminated paddle. In the PPA and MLP, obviously you can challenge the paddle and get tested on an on-site lab. And if we are able to find that paddle is actually illegal because of delamination, you will lose this. You have to forfeit every game that you actually play. Sorry, I'll go back again. You have to forfeit the game that you have played previously, but that's PPA and MLP. In your USAP setting, if what happened is if there is a delaminated paddle or a illegal paddle that we find out during the match or during the game, you have to forfeit the current match that you're playing. So what means that, let's say you're playing a mixed double match, and then we find out your paddle was not approved or delaminated. We can actually tell you the match you just played is now forfeited. So you give a win automatically to the other team, and you cannot use that paddle anymore. Why is important? And I want to emphasize that. First of all, is also like sportsmanship kind of things, right? A delaminated paddle hits so much stronger than any paddle on the market, including the Mod TA15 from the Yola, including the Rhombus Ripple. There's no paddle that's hit much stronger than the delaminated paddle. What is the delaminated paddle? I'll go get one. Just a second.
Vic's turning over. For those of you who are just audio listening right now, Vic's turning over to his wall of many paddles and grabbing one. Here we go.
So I got that delaminated paddle. In order to check or just know how your paddle is delaminated, you can press at the center of the surface of your paddle. So I'm gonna do it in the mic if I can. I don't know if you can hear. Tell me, Andrew, you can hear it.
No, again.
Did you hear?
No,
not enough. Not enough, right? Anyway, when we
say maybe push on the side that you're pushing, if you put that closer to the mic instead of like having the other side.
Oh yeah, maybe there. I'll put it maybe like that.
Nah, still not picking up.
Yeah, but it's not close enough anyway.
If you ever see it in person, you can actually hear it. It almost sounds like I want to say almost like when you're when it's like saran not like wrapping paper, like crimpling wrapping paper up is almost like the kind of sound it makes.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, when you press on the center of the paddle, you can hear any crunching, grumbling noise from that paddle. It means that paddle is delaminated. Especially we call the Generation 2 paddles, which is all the thermoform paddles. They are more subject to delamination due to the hot press that they actually make the mold of the paddle. So what happened is the glue between the honeycomb core and the carbon fiber surface of the paddle now is debonded. It now created a void or space that actually can create what we call a trampoline effect on the ball when you hit that. It's very distinctive. When there's a delaminated paddle hits the ball, it's a very distinctive dong sound, like almost like the Yola TA15 Mod TA15. It hits almost the same sound, and you can see also the ball velocity subtly change compared to regular paddle, and it's very distinctive. And unfortunately, me and Sean, which is the tournament director, we did saw a team were using some paddle that is called Crush. Now is the thing on the current standpoint, we do not have any real testing mechanism to actually disallow a delaminated paddle, and which is problematic that I brought up to Pickleball Canada and USAP, which they might eventually figure out this problem. On the minor league pickleball side of things, the tournament director has the authority to actually disallow a paddle. So therefore, maybe on our next tournament in Calgary, we might because I will be solely reffing on that tournament. So if we are able to find there is or suspect a paddle that's delaminated, we might have a avenue. Actually, Sean I could ask Sean to actually disallow this paddle to be played on the tournament. Like I said, first of all, it was sportsmanship, but secondly, now it's like you have an unfair advantage having someone that has a supercharged paddle on their hands, right? And the third things I want to mention is the safety of the players, because now the other player might not know that you have a delaminated paddle, so therefore the ball that velocity that's coming up to you is so much quicker, then you have higher chance to injure another player from the other side versus whatever paddle that was supposed to be in a regular speed limit, right?
Yeah, exactly. And for those of you who aren't 100% sure what the difference is, I'll use a baseball term or analogy. It's like when a player gets caught with a cork loaded bat. It provides so much more pop and explosion off the bat that's why it's illegal. Because basically, it's got guys trying to hit home runs or hit line drives that like no one's going to get to because the exit velocity is so much quicker, right? So it's the same thing with a core crushed paddle. Is that I'm expecting maybe okay, and I don't know how fast balls will get hit, but let's say I'm expecting a 50-kilometer ball coming at me, and all of a sudden it's a 90-kilometer ball coming at me, right? So it's a massive difference in reaction time.
Yes, exactly. So that's a reason we'll see about tournament in Calgary if there is someone's gonna use that. But I did talk pretty extensively with Sean about this problem. So we do know we have an avenue to deal with this issue for the next tournaments, and we'll see how we're gonna handle it. So don't get caught with a delaminated paddle. I know which paddle
Yeah,
is
exactly.
delaminated.
So yeah, so the plus side is I don't have to when I go to Calgary, I don't have to worry about facing anyone with a delaminated paddle because Vic's going to handle that. The bad news is I lose Vic as a male partner and a teammate, so I have to go. I had to go find someone else, but I did pick up a very very good player as a new partner, so that's I'm okay, I guess.
Yes.
So yeah, so for upcoming minor league pickleball, so by the time this podcast comes out, this event will be well underway, but it's the High Sports in Vaughan on
Yep.
April 26th. So yeah, we're recording this now on the 24th. So by the time editing and stuff is done, this will probably be coming out either the day of or the day before.
Yep.
And of course they have Duper 12, Duper 14, Duper 16, Duper 18, Duper 20. At the High Sports Complex. And so really looking forward to that. I'm going to say right now, Yui, if you're listening to this, you need to send me the spectators QR code so I can keep track. If not, I'll just be messaging you about it anyways.
Or we can message Christina Chin. She's tournament director.
That too. Yeah, there you go. Message, hey Christina, can you send us the spectator code? That's the one issue I have with Swish is the spectator code. So if you, for example, say if my family or like my parents want to find out how the tournament is going without like physically messaging me, there's no way for them, even if they download the Swish app, to get the spectator version unless they have the QR code. So someone has to take a picture of it and send it to them. So that's my only issue with the Swish right now. I think what they should have is if you find the tournament on the app, you should be able to, there should be just a click there where you can click spectator mode, right? Instead of having to actually find the QR code for it. But that's something they can the Swish app can work on. But no worries with that. So of course, yeah. So this weekend coming up, High Sports in Vaughan, and then as we were alluding to, Mega Courts May 24th in Calgary for the next one. I was talking to also Christian, who's the new owner of the Prairie Pronghorns for the CNPL. he was talking about putting basically almost the Pronghorns team in that event because that'll be the weekend after the very first CNPL split in London. That obviously would be a Duper 22 category. When I just signed up our team for it. Now, so far there is no Duper 22 category, but I won't be surprised if you see one pop up later. They're probably seeing how much everything else fills out first, is my guess. So yeah, so right now currently they have a Duper 14, a Duper 16, Duper 18, and Duper 20, just like Edmonton had. So Pickleball Diaries 2. I didn't type in Electric Boogaloo. I thought that was a little bit too wordy, but Pickleball Diaries 2 has already signed up for that, so you'll see us there with the jerseys again, because I did have a bunch of spares for our new teammates. So
That would be
looking
a
forward to
one.
that because that'll
That
be
would be
really fun, and
also
it'll be our first time seeing the Mega Courts facility because of course it just opened up this month. So I'm really excited to see how those courts look, how the facility looks. Um, and I know it's also going to be kind of the base of operations for the Prairie Pronghorns as well, by the sounds of it. So if you are in Calgary and you go there on a regular basis, don't be surprised if you see the Prairie Pronghorns playing well. And of course, a member of the Prairie Pronghorns, Kim Lane, is the head pro coach there as well. So make
there you
sure
go.
you drop in and say hi and maybe get some training lessons from Kim because she knows what she's talking about for sure.
And it will be a 1 day event instead of a 2 day event in Edmonton. So that's also one of the reason, unfortunately, why I ref instead of playing because in Edmonton was 2 day event was easier for me to kind of transition towards referee to playing. But in a 1 day, there's no chance. I'll be my mind will be too focused and also over there, since there's so many duper category at the same time too, they gonna require the red running non-stop for those events. So that will be also the another a little side hassle, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly right. And the one big selling point for a lot of this MLP stuff is it's normally a 1 day event. So it was actually a surprise to see the YAG one do a 2 day event because one of the sales pitches, if you go on the minor league pickleball website, it's a 1 day event. So it's not like now. Obviously, I still have to get like a hotel or an Airbnb or something because it is a
Yeah,
9 hour drive. But
yeah,
one of the big
and
selling points is that is, hey, you can just show up for the 1 day, play your bunch of games of pickleball, and then be able to head home, especially if you're in the area, right? There's no like not very much as much need for hotels and stuff. So, and same thing for me. So I can literally, I just probably need I'm still gonna need 2 days because it's a 9 hour drive. But like for Edmonton, for example, if I wanted to, I could have headed home that night. Now we did stay in, so we had the kids with us and went shopping and stuff. But I could have just done Friday night hotel, played all day Saturday, gone home, and that would have been easy peasy type of thing. So that's the big one of the big sailing pitches about minor league pickball is it's normally all a 1 day event. Now that does put a strain on our refs, hence why I lose Vic as a partner.
yeah,
But
but
in the end, you'd rather have every game refed than not have games refed because especially when it comes down to money prizes,
oh yeah,
people get a little bit more. Oh, I think that ball was out type of thing. And honestly, it's like I don't even really get that mad at people for that. Like now, if it's a blatant one, it's annoying. But like realistic, like it's funny because we have this term in club when we play. I was like, oh yeah, that was in, but it's tournament out, right? When the ball like catch it, like from what you can
I
see,
know.
it catches the line, but and like your club members will be like, oh yeah, that was line, that was in, but that was in tournament, that's getting called out because it was so close, type of thing, right? So when you're
Yeah,
playing for money, there's a lot more tournament out balls. So
yeah, definitely. On the other side, Sean is still in a confirmation mode, but eventually it won't be just like it won't be it's still going to be they planning to still host 1 day event, but it's going to be one duper per day event. So it's going to be a little bit different. For referee perspective, it's also easier than now you just committed probably just half day instead of have to commit to the whole day. On like a referee player perspective also is good because now I know only okay this day I just only need to ref, and then the next the following week, which is another duper event. Now I can play. So that works out well also. And for the facility also that'll be much easier, because now they don't need to kind of close out the facility to accommodate all the duper, because now most of the duper event, they kind of just cap out at eight teams. They only need to basically probably need to reserve a couple of courts instead of reserving all the courts on their facility to accommodate for this event. So that will be a proposition that Sean is actually proposing for the next couple minor league pickleball event. And then they at the also what they are also planning is to do a kind of like a minor league final that will comprise all those minor league duper events at once. Still to be determined how they're gonna do it, because they want to also be able to do some sort of regionals, so that there is more prize money and also more minor league points count towards the CNPL drafting for next year. So that's also going to be to be determined status.
Yeah, and I do like that idea, because not only does it, one, like you said, make it easier for the officials to schedule, and make it easier for the facility to schedule. Like, okay, we only need, say, it's going to be Duper 14 this weekend. There's 8 teams. Okay, we need 4 courts, for example, type of thing, right? And so, like, so if you're a 13 court facility, okay, we're going to schedule these four courts are booked for minor league pickleball. If other people want to come in and book courts, go nuts. And then, hey, you're playing some pickup, and then you can glance over and catch some minor league games going on, right? So
yeah,
it also brings more money to the facility, because now instead of just one day event, you are getting consistently booked throughout the whole month, right?
Yep.
The other thing it makes it easier for is if you have a team of players that you want to play with together all the time, it's a lot easier for you to keep those same 4 players locked up, because it's like, hey, we only need to schedule every 5th weekend off.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, for someone like me who does on-call work and only has so many RTO days, it's easier for me, because I'm like, okay, so for example, it was starting next week, right? So it's like, okay, so August 26th, I'm not playing, but 5 weeks from now, that's when I'm playing. Okay, I can book that off ahead of time. Then I know 5 weeks from there, I need to book that off. So I could literally send all my RTO requests in, up for like 3 months worth in. And I'm like, hey guys, I got it booked off. Everyone else, make sure you got yours booked off. So then you don't have to worry about, for example, like we said for Calgary, like, yes, Vic is reffing. So like, Vic can say, hey guys, I'll cover the first 4 weeks reffing, and I get the 5th weekend off type thing. So then Vic doesn't have to not play. For example, our other teammate Anya, who's going to be out of the country. Now, obviously, out of the country is out of the country, or out of the province, either or. But for example, if she knows, okay, well, I need to have this weekend and this weekend off, like 5 weeks apart. Okay, well, I know I can book, if it's something she can book where she's heading out of province, I know these 4 weeks in between, that's where I would book that time or that leave time type of thing, right? So it's a little bit easier to maintain a team together, because of course we all have jobs. It's not like we're all getting paid to do this on a regular basis. We're not all pros yet, hence minor league, right?
Yeah.
And then I like the idea of making a regional thing and stuff like that. And like I said, having it there constantly at those facilities also is going to build up the popularity, because it's not going to be like, hey, once a month, and then someone finds out about 2 weeks, oh, I didn't even know about that. Whereas if they're going to that facility consistently, and they always see MLP Duper 16 this weekend, then it's like next weekend MLP Duper 18 this weekend, and it's like, oh, what's this MLP? And then they actually go look it up, and it's like, oh, that looks like fun, maybe I'll put a team in, type of thing, right? So it just it keeps it constantly in the front of people's minds, as well, definitely. Right?
And
so, yeah,
also,
like we were saying, so yeah, so this weekend in Vaughan at High Sports, minor league pickleball there. And then the next event, so at least so far, as everything that's been posted on Full Send Pickleball, don't forget to head over there to get all your minor league pickleball in Canada info. Mega Courts, May 24th. So check that out. And then we have one more bit of minor league pickleball. Now, this isn't officially in Canada yet, but minor league pickleball just announced that they are doing 3 versus 3 gender events. So what that is teams of 3. So like, for those of you who are like similar to me or Irene, where we have our like Irene, for example, has her female partner. She actually has two consistent female partners that she plays with all the time. Whereas me, on the other hand, like aside from Vic, who I've really basically only played one tournament with Vic in, and then I'm usually just grabbing whoever I can convince to play with me at other events. But a lot of people have trouble finding that fourth member of a team. Now, like I said, these are gendered, but so if you have three players, so for example, if we say Irene and her regular partners, Mai and Anya, want to play in an event. So you would go to this event, and each team has three players. So you play the same as the regular events where you play four matches, but each player can only play two, right? So, for example, Irene and Mai play the first game, then Irene and Anya play the second game, and then Mai and Anya play the third game, right?
Mhm.
And then, so actually, so it'd be three matches, not four, my bad. But what that does is now you're like, okay, we have a really good doubles pair, or like for example, Irene does really good with both of those players. Now it's all it is okay, how good are Anya and Mai playing, right? So it's like you can have so what you're going to see a lot for these events is a pair that's already together consistently, and then you're going to have that individual person looking for partners. And then that's how they link up, and then you make good connections like that. So I find with this one, it's going to allow more people to play, and it's going to make good connections for people who are looking to play like high, like not necessarily high level, but play competitive, but they haven't really met that other partner in genders. And then they meet maybe a pair that normally play together. But now it's like, okay, now we have these three players who play together all the time. So if someone's out for, like, say they're on vacation and there's another tournament come, now you have this partner you can phone up and say, hey, we played really good together in MLP. How about we go try play in this tournament?
Yeah,
Right. So I
definitely.
think it's gonna spread it. Now I did message Yui, and I know Canada side of minor league pickleball is working on it. It's not official coming to Canada yet, but and it literally just got announced in the States. So I think they're having their first event coming up pretty soon. But it's not. It
Yes.
hasn't even had it. I don't think it's even had its first event as of this podcast. But I like the idea of it, how it's making it more accessible, because you don't always have to go and try and find four players and two guys, two girls. Because sometimes, like I said, it's hard to find that. Like I
Yes.
don't have a hard time finding a mixed partner because, of course, like I have Irene, but I have trouble finding a male partner, right? Some other people have their male partner already, but they have trouble finding a mixed partner. So this allows kind of that socializing and mingling that way, right? So it allows you to find that partner, at least for genders. So I like the idea of that, and I think it's if it goes off running, especially with how much minor league pickleball is advancing this year, because I think when they posted a thing I think a couple weeks ago, like in the first 4 months or whatever of this year in comparison to the first 4 months of that year, they're up like almost 100% of people signing up for minor league pickleball events. So it's
That's
blowing up
nice.
really quickly because, like I said, 1 day events, there's cash prizes, so it just makes it's more of an attraction for people, right? So,
Yeah.
all right, and seeing how we were talking about some CNPL stuff, we do have some CNPL news. So they've officially named the location for the first event in May. So May 17th and 18th is the first event, and it's the Central Split, and that will be at the Smash Pickleball facility in London. Because I know originally when you first look at the website, it was said it was going to be hosted by the Southwest Ontario Bruisers. So my assumption at that point was, oh, okay, it's going to be at like the One Health Club or something like that. But I know from what I heard talking to people that the London facility put on a great showing at the qualifier event. So no surprise there that that facility is getting used now for the CNPL event. So um, May 17th, 18th. As far as we know, there's nothing 100% confirmed yet or for times. Me and Vic are hoping to at least do some type of remote commentary for that. We still have to work out all the details of that because, of course, we're 2 hours behind
Yeah.
London, Ontario. So who knows, Vic? We might be getting up at 5 in the morning to do some commentary. So
Yeah, maybe.
hopefully they
Gonna
don't
be.
show our faces and they just let our voices do the work because I'll have massive bedhead.
Yeah. Hopefully
Uh,
they start at 9 or 10 o'clock. That give us a
yeah,
little
right.
buffer.
And from what I've also heard is we have a lot more people, pros who aren't necessarily playing but are still very much involved with the CNPL or like the London facility are like wanting to get involved. So it looks like we're going to be doing like some shift work where so you're not going to have the same person doing commentary for like the 9 hours straight on the day, right? Which as now, me and Vic, the only time we came close to doing something like that was when we were at championship weekend, and that's a little bit of a different scenario, and we were at the event. I think
Yeah.
being at the event makes it a little bit easier to do that stuff, because when they're taking a break from the games, you're taking a break, and of course we were doing one game at a time, whereas regular events you're having like at least 2 or 3 courts going on, right? And I know last year they only had commentary for the one court, but if you have enough people signing up now, you might have both broadcasts going and commentary for both, right? So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to once we start talking with Jason and Yui and Mike a little bit more how that's going to shake out.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
I'm trying to I'm pushing this into the universe to try and make it a thing, but if they want to use us for championship weekend in October, I am wanting to get flown out there and do it in person. We don't know where it is yet, right? Because that's the one place that hasn't been announced yet, where the location's going to be. I have a feeling they're going to kind of put feelers out, because now that we have 4 splits and the Good Games event going on, which the Good Games apparently at least so far isn't going to count towards the regular season, so it seems like it's going to be kind of like an all-star event.
Yep.
But then you have the 4 splits. So I got a feeling between the 4 splits going on, you're going to kind of see, okay, where did we have the most kind of fans show up in person, right? Not necessarily for views wise, because views wise, it's going to be roughly the same no matter where people are playing. But because you want the fan engagement at the event to be loud, you want it to be big, right? So, like, for example, and as someone who's from Alberta, I can honestly say that we could have had more people at championship weekend last year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
Well,
was not. I
there's
was not impressed. I was not impressed with the turnout, and this is me calling out everyone in the Edmonton area.
Well, it
Where
wasn't
were you guys?
it wasn't well advertised neither.
And yeah, well, and that's the other thing. It wasn't well advertised, but that's also on the facility. That's on Pickleball Alberta, and as someone who's a board member from Pickleball Alberta, we didn't do a good enough job, right? Promoting it. Like it got promoted like 3 days before it happened. I was like, that's not enough time. As soon as you know who's hosting it, that should be getting blasted across the social medias by the facility hosting and by whatever province is hosting it as well.
Yeah,
Right, that should be
it was
hey,
rough.
come show up and support, because you have member, like, no matter who's hosting it, you're gonna have pickleball players from at least that province, maybe not necessarily that area, but from that province. So it's their home province they're playing in. Come and
Yeah.
support your local pros. Come
Mhm.
and cheer them on. Like, even if you have no skin in the game, and also come watch some insanely good pickleball. It is like pro pickleball is so much better to watch in person than it is on
On TV.
online. Like,
Yeah,
I still enjoy watching it online, but like when you're there and then because you're feeling the emotion off the
it's
players. It's just
different.
something you can't quite get. And of course, like we've said before, the camera does no favors to the speed of the ball
Not at all.
in pickleball.
Not at all. It's
Like, people who
definitely not.
watch pro, like if you watch like Ben John's Annalee Waters play in PPA, and you're like,
Oh
oh
man.
well, yeah, they're good, but it doesn't look like they're hitting the ball that hard. You go watch that in person, and you're like you blink and you're missing the ball. Type of thing, right? So like I'm saying that we're not going to get an announcement of where the finals are until at least the first 2 splits
Yes.
are done, right? And if you get an
so
insanely
too.
good turnout for one of those ones, that's the place that's going to have being able to say, hey, look how many people came out and watched. It was loud, it was awesome. The atmosphere was awesome for the players, and like that's what you want championship weekend to look like. You want it to be exploding, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, so I'm putting it out into the ether though. I want to be there in person. So hey, Yui, Mike, fly us out. I don't care. Like, even if it's just the flight, we'll book an Airbnb or we'll book a hotel room. Then you'll have us there for the full like 48 hours or whatever championship weekend ends up being. But you got us there the whole time. We'll do socials. We'll do commentary. We'll do whatever you need us to do. I'll do push-ups if I have to on site just for the views type thing.
I'll do paddle testing for them.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly right. Vic can also ref if need be, if a ref goes down with an injury or
exactly. There you go. You got two in one.
Yeah, exactly right. So, and then so one or two other things. So we're gonna give a quick shout out to our good friends at good friend Lily at Kling. She is designing the Northern Lights team jerseys, and also the fan jerseys, which are actually on the Kling website right now. They look awesome. So they've got some fan merch already up on the Kling website. The Detroit Windsor Drive team is also about to they've shown pictures on their Instagrams of their fan stuff as well. Um,
Mhm.
I haven't double checked to see if their website is up yet, but that stuff's going to be up there for people to purchase. So hey, you actually have fan gear that you can get this year from some of these teams. Um, so super excited for that. And I've already gotten a message saying it's coming, but we need a merch shop for CNPL. I
Yep.
want like a hoodie, or I want some type of shirt. And then like same thing, if we can make it on site for an event, I want to actually be able to wear and promote it. Like, yes, I'm gonna wear my Anivia hat. We do have our Pickleball Diary shirts that we wear. But hey,
Yep.
you gave me a CNPL thing to stick on, I will stick that on, no problem, and I'll find another way to promote my sponsors or other stuff another way. I'll, if need be, I'll flip my paddle over and use it as a mic stand instead of our usual microphones that I have behind me here. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, we need some CNPL merch ASAP.
Yep.
And then also, if for those of you listening don't know, the Toronto United team is doing a behind the scenes like video kind of journal thing on YouTube. It's called Beyond the Kitchen. They have 2 episodes already. The first episode was you're following Ricky and Andrew and the crew at the London Showdown, where where you see them talking and interacting with players, other teams, reps, deciding who they're going to pick. The second episode just dropped a couple days ago, and it's them actually doing the draft. So you're
Mhm.
seeing behind the scenes footage of how they're actually doing the draft and stuff, which was really, really cool because you got to see who they were targeting, who they got that they were targeting, and the strategy behind, okay, if this team picks this, are we picking this? Or if this team picks this, are we picking this? Like you saw the mental games being played, right? So because one of the big things that kind of got revealed from that was that they were the Toronto United team was targeting Jordan Vigna, who actually got picked by the Pronghorns. And the Pronghorns picked Jordan because they were targeting Anna Dashenko, who got picked, of course, by the Rush, right? And
Mhm.
one of the big things with Anna Dashenko is that we also found out from this behind the scenes footage is that she's going to miss the Montreal split, which
Mhm.
also explains why Ava Weeks got picked before they picked their second male, because they want to lock up a strong female to team with Christina for that event when Anna's not going to be there,
Yep.
right? So you got to see a little bit more of the mindset of the players. Another thing that got revealed is, of course, the Detroit Winter Drive picked West from the States, and another big reason why they picked Jonas was that West is a right side specialist who is ambidextrous. So kind of larking back to, I
Yeah,
kind of feel
looks
personally
like
for
me.
that
Looks
because
like you.
I'm an ambidextrous player, and in men's, a lot of times, depending on who I'm playing with, like if I play with Vic, I'm playing the rights, just because Vic's got such a strong drive. I'm very good at counter punching and stuff like that. So for me, it's good to play there. But one of the main things that West told the Detroit team was that I need someone on the left who is very mobile, right?
Mhm.
And Jonas fits that bill to a T, right? So it showed that. It also showed Toronto United trying to do a trade with the Pronghorn Christian from the Pronghorns team because they wanted to get Jordan Vigna, right? And they were offering up a couple draft picks and things like that. Of course, it didn't work out. It didn't work out for the trade. But if you want that little bit of extra spicy drama, right, that gets released, tune into their YouTube channel, the Toronto United Pickleball Club channel, and see that. And of course, Andrew from there also releases a blog. Can't remember if it's weekly or not, but but same thing. It's a blog journal of kind of how it's him going to tournaments, but then it's also him talking about what's going on in the CNPL stuff, and you get a little bit same thing, some behind the curtain, or I like their thing beyond the kitchen
Yeah,
um,
beyond this,
info from
behind
there,
the
right?
scene. We
So it's
go
always
say.
a good read with Andrew doing that as well. So make sure you tune in for that stuff if you like that extra stuff. I know their next episode will be after the first split because it'll be the behind the scenes footage of that. So it'll be also that'll be really fun to listen into because you'll see depending on how well Toronto United does in that, you'll get to see some maybe some of the teammates talking to each other. You'll get to see whether Whether certain players find that they're meshing well with like some of their mixed teams, or if they're meshing well better with this, or if they think, okay, that didn't work out, let's try this. You'll get to see how Andrew and Ricky are reacting to that stuff. So it's going to be really interesting to follow that along throughout the season. For those of you who are not sure what this kind of looks like, think of the most recent thing released by the NHL on Prime, that Face Off, where you followed like star players behind the scenes. Or like if you're a Leafs fan, the Blueprint that comes out. I know Montreal Canadiens do one too. I can't remember what that one's called. But
Yeah,
where
I
you're seeing like the behind the scenes footage, like in the locker room of the players and the players at practice. So very like similar style to that of how this is shot, and they do a really good job at shooting it too. So make sure you tune in for that.
Mhm.
And then our final topic for the day, and I'm going to definitely go on a rant about this one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So me and Irene are going to nationals this year. We are signed up. We have our partners locked in already. It's in Winnipeg this year, August 19th to the 24th. They do have the new, actually, here, we'll talk about the pricing first, and then we'll talk about the things after. So this is by far the most expensive pickleball tournament I have ever signed up for. In comparison to the nationals I went to in Regina, it's probably at least $100 more.
Ay, 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 ay,
Um,
ay.
so the registration is $145, and then each additional event is $45. So if you're signed, and so because this is a 5-day event, actually 6-day event, but you get 5 chances to play unless you're playing on one of the provincial teams, which we'll get into after. So if you sign up for all 5 events, you are paying $372 per person. So for example, for me and Irene, you double that. Not to mention hotels and our travel boats. We won't get into that because, of course, there's people from Winnipeg who won't have to worry about paying for hotels and stuff. But anyone traveling there, just your registration is $372, which is insane. There's no shirt included because they show you a link to go get your shirt. It's another like $50 if you want to buy a shirt. So
Yeah.
so that's already stupid expensive. There's also on the 21st, there is a like a big social, which is an additional $40. So if you want to do all 5 events, do the social, and get a shirt, you're spending like $460.
Yeah.
Like
Crazy. It's crazy.
that's an insane price.
It's getting very expensive. It's almost how I can how I can say that. Jeez, like when it's more than 100 something dollars, you you're expecting at least you can play 2 events, right, on there. But now you have to pay almost 300 something. Yeah, okay, you got to play almost 4 to 5 events, but still, like that's a lot. Just that this is a lot. That's not even including your hotel and your traveling. Right? So this is just crazy. Those are just crazy numbers. So at the end of the day, you're probably gonna spend easily over $1,000 just to go to play at the nationals. This is getting crazy, and I don't even know what they're gonna give them for the goodie bags. I hope they're gonna give them I don't know, like paddles maybe. I don't.
Oh geez, yeah. Like I don't know, but yeah, because I said this to Vic off camera, but I'll say it now. I'm like my little swag bag that you get better be loaded with stuff.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure there's nothing in there.
Oh man, like I'm like I said, I'll reserve judgment until I show up, right? And the other thing is we're playing in a tennis facility. Like it's not
Yeah.
even permanently dedicated pickleball courts, and that's not a shot at Winnipeg, right? This is, but I'm like, if I'm paying this much money, like nearly, like so for me and Irene, so we're talking about now almost $1,000 for the two of us, just for
Mhm.
registration, right? If I'm paying that much for the two of us to go play, I better be getting some type of something to sweeten the deal. Like it doesn't have to be a paddle. It doesn't have to be like maybe I don't know. I better have like there better be like a hat or there better be something in there that shows okay, Canadian Nationals 2025, like something that I can stick on the wall behind me here.
No, I don't think if they have you to pay for the shirt, I don't think they're gonna give you
Yeah,
much.
exactly. And yeah, and that's the other thing. The fact that I have like they're already sending you a link where you have to pay an additional $50 for a shirt tells me that more than likely not. Right. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and just looking at who signed up, like, yes, we had over 530 people signed up in the first like 24 hours for this event. So you
Mhm.
know you're getting people,
Yeah.
right? Right. So, but I've noticed a couple pros haven't signed up for anything yet. Like I know, for example, who's not gonna for example, Ava Weeks from Alberta isn't gonna be there. Um for I haven't seen Brad Chapman sign up for anything yet. Now Brad
Okay.
Chapman is getting married pretty soon, so I don't know if that
That timing.
falls within maybe like honeymoon and stuff like that. But so and congrats once again to Brad and Caitlin for that. But like I said, that's you're not giving a lot of incentive for people to travel and pay that much money if you're not offering. And I know there's no cash prizes,
Yeah, which is
right?
terrible.
So it's like so there's no cash prizes. Like and yes, national medals always look really, really good. I will be the first one to admit that because I got a couple behind me here. And Vic's got a couple, he's got at least one behind him as well on his
Yeah.
wall. But the most those cost to make, and gonna tell you that right now is maybe $25.
Yeah.
Right. And for the amount of money that's getting spent per player, like I said, this is no matter where you're from. So if you're from Winnipeg, if you could live a block from the facility, you are still paying at bare minimum $372 to play in all five days. Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it's I don't know, like I said, it better be really well done. Like it's a level whatever three or whatever it is. You're gonna have certified refs for every event. At least that's what they're.
Mhm.
At least that's the mandatory thing for nationals. So I better not play in a single event where I don't have a ref
Yes. That's
at
for
any
sure they're
point.
gonna have ref. They for sure they're gonna have ref. But my rant is why are you still playing in a tennis facility? Yes, I got it. You want to give most opportunity to different province to get it. But I'm sorry, you're playing on in this is the Canadian national, and you're not even promoting and enforcing like the promoter or the bidder to build dedicated pickleball courts. You're never gonna like people is not gonna learn. They're just gonna say, "Oh, you guys can accommodate everything." I'll just pick up like a couple of years ago in Kingston, they pull up in a hockey arena. That's not the way not the way to play, and that's you'll turn like eventually. For now, still a lot of people will tune into those tournaments, but eventually people will start thinking, well, why am I supposed to? Why am I going to those tournament? There's no incentive. I can go play the same level of play in my local facility that has a dedicated pickleball courts and having the same level of play if I need to. Or sometimes there's some local pros that come over to teach. I better just pay my money to go have a lesson with my local pro than actually go all the way to the national playing on some makeup courts and not getting anything back, right? So I like I just feel if you're charging that high amount of money, not only the swag bag but also the facility needs to pair up.
Yeah, exactly right. And remember, like you said last year when they were showing like the winners got like the bag, just the gold medalists got the
Ah,
bag of chips. I'm
yeah,
sorry if you're on
I
the
was so
podium, you
pissed.
every I don't care the bronze or silver, you better be getting something as well.
Yeah, I was very pissed. I was like, this a bag of chips, how much it costs? I'm sorry, ten
Yeah.
bucks. Okay,
You should have
maximum
all
ten
three players
bucks.
at least should have gotten one type of thing
Exactly.
like that. Like
Like,
I don't know if they're like and there's no announcement of and I know they're doing the team event, so we'll talk about that now. They're doing on the 21st, so the same day that they're doing juniors and the Pan Am or
Mm.
Pan Am, right?
Is it Pan Am?
I think that's what
I
it's
think.
called. It's for people with physical disabilities, basically.
Okay,
Um, so the
gotcha.
game, so yeah, on the 21st, they're doing the game, they're doing the juniors, and they're doing that. They're also doing territorial and province team events. So basically, CNPL MLP style, right?
Mm, I see.
Um, and and obviously you can go and watch that. I know. So congrats to Irene. She's an alternate for that team. We're not going to get into how the teams were picked because I know for some provinces you just signed up saying you were interested, and then the person for that province picking the team will say, yeah, yes, you can play, yes, you can't. Whereas Alberta did it, it was where you sent in basically kind of like a resume,
Mm.
and then the board assembled a subsidiary board to pick the team. Of course, I wasn't on that board because I knew Irene was signing up to play for that, so I recused myself of possibly being on that board because I'd be biased.
Mm.
Right. And then, of course, in my opinion, Irene shouldn't be an alternate. She should be higher up, but that's me being a husband. Um, so of course like I said, I'm biased with that. I'll let other people make that decision. Because I know the team's probably getting announced today as we're recording. So by the time this recording comes out, the team will be already announced. So it's not like I'm spilling the beans ahead of time. So, but so that is a fun, interesting thing, and I really like that idea that you're doing a team event like province and territories versus each other. And it's a 1 day event. And the way they're doing it, at least I know for the way Alberta is doing it, is each member is only playing in one event. Right. So it's like if you're playing mixed, you're only playing mixed. So and obviously that's so you don't burn yourself out because you're already playing. If you're signed up for everything, you're already playing 5 days. So now you're playing 6 days straight.
Mhm.
Right. So for example, if you're playing mixed, you're only playing mixed. If you're playing gender doubles, you're only playing gender doubles. If you're playing singles, you're only playing singles. Right. So I do like that idea. It also gives more opportunities for more players to play for the province team or the territory team. Right.
Yep.
So I like that idea. The other and then of course then the whichever team wins that award will be given out at the social that night. But once again, $40 to get in if you're not on one of those teams. Now I understand there being additional charge for the social because one, it's probably limited space. Two, there's going to be at least some type of food there, and it's at the I know it's at the Aviation Museum, which is a cool setting to have it at, right? It's
Definitely.
like I said, if I'm already paying $372, because me and Irene were sitting there talking, I was like, well, so for me and the kids and Irene to go to it, that's an additional $120 just to go to the social,
Yeah.
right? So like it doesn't for me it like if you're on one of the teams, makes total sense to go to the social, and if you're someone who's from the area or whatever and you want to go to the social, cool, and check out the aviation museum. But like for me, once again, it's coming across as this is now a money grab by Pickleball Canada.
Mhm.
And now I don't know, maybe they didn't get a good discount on the booking the facility, the tennis facility, but I'm like, then
Why did you go
why did
there?
you award them the tournament? Like
Exactly.
that should be in the thing when someone's asking for the tournament. Okay, how much of a deal are you going to give booking the courts? You're going to get people signing up. You're going to get people using your facility, so the facility gets publicity that way. If your facility has other things in it where people can spend the money on, they're going to spend money there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like if you have like a pro shop or whatever where people can buy paddles, buy shoes, buy pickleballs, all that stuff, guarantee you're going to make money. You're going to make money that way,
Mhm.
right? So and like you were saying earlier about the hockey rinks, like yeah, we have the pickle roller mats or whatever out that if you're putting that on, like as long as it's not on, but I know at the Kingston when they didn't have that, they were just playing on like the pavement, right? So if you're not going to use a facility that's dedicated pickleball courts, you better get pickle roller or whoever the other um temporary pickleball services people are, get them out
Mhm.
and be one of the big sponsors and make the courts that way because we're getting to the point now, especially like we said for the higher level of pickleball, the open, the 4-5, the 4-0, and even some of the 3-5 teams are really really good now. um like it's we want actual pickleball courts to play on. We don't want to
Yeah.
play on polished concrete. We don't want to play on some type of surface that's not dedicated at least for the pickleball bouncing off of it, right? So yeah, so I don't know. It's just it's a little frustrating, but then like even with Pickleball Canada lately with some of their decision making, it's been like I finally put my thing into up my CTPR thing as well. And the funny thing is I signed up for nationals before I did that. So I signed up and I'm in the 4-0 division because my duper, not my duper, my CTPR was only 3.6. But they bumped me up to a 4.5. So now if you actually go look at my registration on the nationals, it says I'm a 4.5 playing in the 4-0 category
Yeah.
for the double elimination bracket. And I'm like, well, when I signed up, I was 3.6. So I don't know what you want me to do now. They might bump me and my team over to the 4.5, which is fine because my teammate's a really good 4-0, almost 4.5 player anyway. So I'm not too worried if they do that. But I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want like, what do you want me to do? But then, and their other thing, they just announced like their ambassador program.
Yeah.
All their ambassadors. It's funny. You look at some of these people who they announce, they have like zero social media presence whatsoever.
I know.
I was just like, I'm like, were you just picking people out of a hat for this? Like I did sign up for it, and I'm not bitter about not getting picked because like I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see why you wouldn't pick me because I don't pull any punches. Especially when I went on like the rant about the CTPR thing earlier, and then of course the rant I'm going on right now. So for me, it's not an issue if I didn't get picked. Like I'm already, like I said, we're already have a decent social media presence. Like obviously we want to keep growing, but like I said, some of the people they picked, I was like, oh, I said that's cool that this person got picked, and so I go check out their Instagram or I check out their Facebook, and it's like two
Zero.
posts in like the last year, and I'm like, I thought you wanted people who are going to promote who have like a decent amount of following,
Yeah,
right? Like
I
so
don't
yeah,
know.
some of the people named I didn't get, but maybe those people like now that you're getting because I know part of the thing was is you're agreeing to promote and post stuff
Yep.
while being an ambassador. So maybe they'll start doing it now. But if you're not doing it already and you signed up to be an ambassador, I'm curious of I don't know, like hopefully like I want these people to push forward and succeed in this because obviously if you're going to be an ambassador for Pickleball Canada, you better go. But like it's just interesting to see. So like I said, some of the decision making at Pickleball Canada right now, I'm just like, okay, well, like you want people who are going to promote the game and push, 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 right? So it's just like if you have someone who like has done 2 posts in the last year and has like 10 followers, I'm like, okay, well, now that they're a thing, how quick do you think they're going to get their follower count up?
Yeah. I
Right.
don't
So
know
it's
where
just
to go.
it's just interesting. So like and like I said, I'm nowhere near what you would call a Matt, like I think what mine because I'm at just sub 600, for example, on Instagram, I can still consider what you would call a micro influencer. Like you have to be up in the thousands type of thing to be considered an actual influencer. So
Yeah, we're
like
we're
like
not we're not there yet.
yeah, we're
We're
not
like
there yet at all. So hey, for example, if you're listening to this and you haven't followed us on especially Instagram or Facebook, I was like, come on. This is
please
that I said
help
that's where
us.
you get all your updates right away aside from the podcast itself. So and make sure you like and subscribe as well. You
Yes.
got anything for for equipment corner today, Vic?
Um not much yet. I haven't received well I haven't not received, just got new paddles yet, but I'm going to the state in 2 weeks, so I'm picking up a couple paddles over there. Then I have a better idea. I just gonna show the stacker paddle. I'll be posting something like that on social media. So the only guy with the stacker paddle walking into the court, stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah,
So
I should have recorded that when you came onto the court with when we were playing the
yeah.
game. I hadn't turned hit the record button yet.
Anyway, so that's it. So I when I went to the court, if you're looking at on our yeah, on video, I'm coming up with that stacker paddle, and then obviously the players are laughing, and then the ref is like eyeballing why I need to check all those paddles. And anyway, so I can talk about quickly what's the rationale to go with all these paddles. So obviously my number one paddle I will go for it is the Rhombus Ripple. I have two Rhombus Ripple. I have the very early model, and then I have the second model right before they stamped the PB core 0.43 on it. They have slightly a little difference on both. Obviously, the really early production model hits super hard is the one that's much more difficult to control, but especially in a fast-paced game like at the minor league, if you can blow past your people people again with this paddle, just use it, right? That's how you do it. And I use the other paddles when I'm trying. I feel I'm hitting ball outs or overheating balls unnecessarily, and then I use the other one to give me slightly better control in when I'm playing. Then if nothing those two doesn't work, then I have other paddles in my arsenal to change to kind of complement my games. I felt like I am having difficulty in my hand battles against other people, then I will use my Yola Persis 4 14 millimeter because it is a much faster paddle and much lighter paddle to use. So that will be my next one to go to. Uh, then if I'm still over like those power paddle, I'm still overhitting. What gonna do? I will use the 11624 Hirachi X power version. Even though this power version for me is more like a semi-control oriented paddle, because the power level compared to the other three I just mentioned is definitely way behind. This paddle is like much more controllable. So that I'll use this paddle to complement my game if I need something I like for dinking, for reset purposes, or playing that the slow game. That's how I'm gonna use this paddle for. Then I have the other two kind of backup paddle, which I should have used in one of our men's game. For some reason, I changed it a little too late. But and anyway, but I got to talk about it. So remember the carbon true foam? I was talking trash about it. I basically I like my first impression of this paddle. I didn't like it at all. Since then, I did put some lead tape on the side, and that paddle feels much more playable than I in my liking. So this paddle now has a much broader sweet spot. Now I added some weight on the side. I'm planning also to put some weight on the bottom because I want to add some more stability and widen that sweet spot on this paddle. But this paddle has insane spin on it, even though it's not gritty. I was able to get the ball dipping very aggressively with this paddle. So therefore, when you're missing your third shot drop, you're popping balls up. I will say this is another paddle you want to kind of try to switch to kind of just change up the game a little bit against your opponent. And one last paddle I should have used on that match, it was the project from Proton, the project Flamingo, because this paddle, like I said on the previous podcast, I will consider this paddle as a over supercharged Selkirk Lux paddle. So it feels super plush, but it does still have the power and punch of a Gen 3 paddle. Not super strong. I'm not putting close to the Yola Persis 4 level of power, but it still packs a punch. But if it feels so good that if you're having someone that is driving the ball super hard at you, when you punch back with this paddle, it feels super plush. It's like it's a very satisfying feeling when you counter with this paddle. And obviously, this paddle also is super gritty. It's almost at the same spin level as the carbon true form that I just show on the video. So that will be my kind of my last resort paddle, because at the same time, unfortunately, this paddle has a very high swing weight. The swing weight is over 125, which you're gonna sacrifice a lot, especially during the hand battles. So that's why I'm a little reluctant to use this paddle, but which I should have just used because nothing was working on that game for us. I just want so that I should have just use it to just to throw up a little bit more my style game against those opponents. So if you're wondering why I bring all those paddle, now you know I give my secret when I'm changing paddle and which paddle I'm changing to. You probably know what am I trying to achieve with those paddle. Obviously, it's still ever changing because I have newer paddle that might come in, and then that will throw you off. You're just listening to my paddle and try to scout me. Okay, what am I using? I my paddle lineup might have changed probably pretty quickly. But this is how I do it because a lot of people thinks I should be using the same paddle all the time. Yes, I say majority of you listening to this podcast right now should not do what I do. I'm telling you out loud right now. Do not do whatever I do. Like it is a very unique skill that I have. I can adjust to a paddle on the fly right away, and I know exactly what I need from that next paddle. For most of you, you better get used to one paddle as much as possible first, because if you keep changing paddle all the time, your your hands and the way you hit the ball might have to change at the same time, which is something that I don't like. So in a tournament, I basically don't change the way I swing. I don't change the way I hit the ball. I just change the paddle in order to adapt whatever I want to as a result when I'm hitting against my opponent, which is very difficult to achieve because like in the middle of a game, you change a paddle. Usually, you need a couple of hits in order to get used to it. But for me, I know my paddles enough to be able to do that on the fly. So, but definitely not recommending any of you trying to do that because it is very difficult, and it's actually technically detrimental to my game in some sort.
Exactly right. That's awesome. All right, so we are going to finish up with another blind ranking, Vic.
All right.
So this one I got for you is worst type of tournament players.
Okay.
Okay. Now you can say this is as your partner or as someone you're playing against, whichever you want. So 1 will be the worst, 5 will be the least worst.
5 is the least worst, 1's the worst. Okay. So basically, type of player that I'm angry enough, I gotta body back him every shot, basically.
Type of thing. Yeah, either that, or even if you're watching on the side, you're like, oh god, that person's a dick, type of thing.
All right.
So first one is bad line calls.
Well, as a referee, I really hate that. So that's the reason why I became a referee in some sort, right? I'll probably put that at 2 right away.
Okay. Next one is trash talking.
I don't really mind because I trash talk back usually when does that happen. But can get annoying. I'll put it as 3.
Yells at partner. And I would say this is more so like, what are you doing? Like, like actually being a dick to their partner, not like just, yelling out or stuff like that.
I don't really want to put it 4 because I will be pretty annoyed, actually. I won't put it at 5 neither, but it's not the worst either. I won't put it at 1. I put it at 4 just for fun.
And then we got sandbagging.
Well, I'm doing it already, so I'll put it at 5.
Okay, I think you'll like this last one. So your number 1 is questions the ref's calls.
There you go.
I was going to laugh a lot harder if you would have put sandbagging 1. But you saved yourself with that one. That's a good list.
I save myself that pretty nicely. Well, think about it right now. If you check my Duper right now, I'm actually a 5-0. But if you look at my CTPR, I can still play at 3-5.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I was just talking about that with Nationals. I'm signed up for 4-0 because I was 3-5 when I signed up, and then they finally changed my CTPR, but now it's listed me at 4-5. So I'm just like, so we'll see what happens with that. I might have to message the tournament director and say, hey, can you move us over to the 4-5 because my CTPR just changed. But
Yeah, or
mind you, that's on the
you
mind you, that's on the director. That's not on me to fix that.
yeah, that's on the director. But anyway, if you want me to play on national, well, I'll play 3-5. Yeah, and then you just look at why the hell a 5.0 Duper guy playing on 3-5.
Yeah, well,
There you
I
go.
made the joke. I made the joke to my teammate Dawson. I was like, hey, we could sign up for 3-5 because we're both technically like, I think I'm 3-6 and he's like a 3-7 on CTPR, but actually no, I think no, he's moved up to he was 3.7, but he got his moved up quicker, so now he's like a 4-0 on there.
Gotcha.
But I was like, I could be a dick and sign up for 3-5, but
To get that medal, right? Because I'm playing.
yeah,
I'm paying
$372. I want a medal, that's for sure.
Yeah, I want to have a medal back, right?
Yeah,
Give me
exactly. All right, everyone, that is it for this one. We will be. It's interesting because in 2 weeks, it's going to be the week just before the first CNPL event. So I'm wondering, do we want to go one extra week and then we just do the CNPL recap, or unless we get some news?
Yeah, it's gonna depend on the news, what kind of news we're gonna get right now, because it's gonna be dead until the CNPL.
Yeah, because I know we'll do probably back-to-back podcasts then, because we'll have a CNPL recap, and then the very next weekend we have the minor league pickleball in at Mega Courts, right? So
Yeah.
So depending on news, we'll either do something on like May 14th, or we'll wait until after the weekend, the CNPL Central Split, and we'll do our full recap there. So
sounds good.
All right. Okay, everyone. We'll see you guys in either 2 or 3 weeks. So depending on the news.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I bug Yui or bug Sean. Maybe we'll get some more interesting news. Well, you have to think. I'll be gone to San Antonio on the week of the first week of May. So I'll be gone playing pickleball in San Antonio.
Oh, there you go. So you might have some stuff from there too. So yeah, we'll see what we got, and if we have enough to warrant a good one before we do that, and then we can also do a preview of the CNPL before going into the weekend. So
definitely. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Sweet.